Hey everyone, welcome to Bleeding Blue Shirts, the playoff edition, right here on MSG.com. John Giannone, joined today by Steve Valiquette as we preview Game 1 of the series between the Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. We want to remind you that every single minute of all games in round 1 of the playoffs can be seen on MSG Networks and on MSG GO, so tune in for all of that. I'll be here, Steve will be here, Henrik Lundqvist as well for the pregame and the postgame. Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti will have the call. Steve-O, how excited are you after 5 years of no playoffs at the Garden?
You know, it's funny, I was telling my wife and kids that yesterday, that it's been since 2017. It's hard to believe. Time's flown by, but at the same time, I mean, I'm anxious, excited, and enthusiastic like everybody else.
All right, let's delve into it a little bit because obviously the storyline for Game 1 and probably for the entire series and perhaps for the entire playoff is Igor Shesterkin's brilliance, and can he repeat what he did in the regular season into the postseason where he's never played before? Certainly not in the United States. He played in the bubble in Canada with no fans. He certainly has played big games in the KHL, but this is new territory for him. And on the other side, their top goalie, Tristan Jarry, won't play at least the first 2 games. Size up the goaltending matchup, and I won't even ask who has the advantage. I'll ask how much of an advantage it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with Casey DeSmith because I've been working on him for the last 2 hours. And usually, John, when I see goals that are going into a goalie's net because of broken plays, the ones that go off a shin pad or a ricochet off the backboards, usually they go in with frequency because the goalie's out of position. They're either challenging too much or they are sliding too much into the save from side to side. And I'm seeing those 2 things as well as going down too soon with him. So if there's a lot of traffic at the net, which the Rangers have had a great season at net front by and large because of Chris Kreider, but if they have a focus of being able to get the puck through from the point, being able to get those broken plays, having traffic, they should have a really good, successful net front game that I think you want to look at it this way. Who's going to win the net front in the series? Is it Pittsburgh or the Rangers? And I really give a large advantage to the Rangers based on what I've seen so far. It seems to me like when I watch Shesterkin, everything is settled on his skates when the puck is coming in off of an angled seam. He adjusts over, gets a complete stop, and then his drop is south. And because it's not east to west, he's more gathered and available for the second and third saves. And you know what playoff hockey's like, John. It's all about managing all of the distractions in front of the net, and heavy advantage in net with the Rangers being able to have their number 1, who was or is going to be a Vezina Trophy winner, and DeSmith, who's filling in for Tristan Jarry that's not going to be available, at least for games 1 and 2.
So that's the strategic part of it. How about the esoteric, emotional part that you really can't measure with statistics, but you know is going to be evident? How do you feel based on what you know about Igor Shesterkin and what you've seen from Igor Shesterkin? How confident are you that he can handle the pressures of what the Stanley Cup playoffs mean?
The games that he's had against Pittsburgh this year, he's only allowed 4 goals. He should have allowed 10. So he's had an outstanding season, and that's a psychological advantage for a goalie. I know that a lot of the players will say, well, it doesn't matter game to game, regular season doesn't carry over to playoffs. For the goalie, it does, because you feel like you have a very good read on what the opposition wants to do. I think there's certainly an advantage for him with the game that he plays, specifically against the offense that Pittsburgh has. And when you look at Igor's ability to be able to make saves off the rush, that's a big component in this series too. I mean, this is a team with Malkin in the lineup that has a little more risk to it offensively. And Igor is one of the best goalies over the last 3 years on breakaways, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. The rush game is going to be significant. And what I love most about Igor's game and how it works with the Rangers is his reads off the rush, where he's able to transition the team the other way. This is where he's really revolutionized the sport for me. It's when the puck is on the ice, does he put it with his stick over the glass to get a whistle because he feels like his teammates need rest? Or does he keep it in play off the boards and the glass so they can jump and go the other way? I can't tell you how fascinating it's been for me to review his video this year, where I get the sense that he knows when it's time to keep the play moving and get it by that initial forecheck. And Pittsburgh comes hard, but I just feel like he's got a really good advantage with how well he reads the game. His goalie IQ is off the charts.
Obviously, the series are all best of 7 for a reason. You have to win 4. That said, given that it's the youngest playoff team in the Rangers against the oldest playoff team in the Penguins, given the way the Rangers held the Penguins to 4 goals in 4 games this regular season, how much importance do you put on game 1? And maybe is it more outsized in importance in this series than in some others?
I agree with what Henrik said to us the other night when we were working together, which is there's more pressure on the home team in game 1 because the other team's trying to come in and just get a split. And Henrik's numbers have shown you and I, we've been speaking back channels a little bit on text message, it's tightened his focus over his career, the game 1s. And I think it's going to do the same thing for Shesterkin. And you play from the goalie out. If there's belief in Shesterkin in the first 10 minutes of the game, that he's on, he's smothering the puck, he's managing it, he's sharp, I think that's going to channel through the rest of the group, and it's going to go right to their legs, and they're going to get ahead of the game. And I think the first 10 minutes of the very first game is going to say a lot about where's our belief system from within. Is it going to feel the same way it did in the regular season when we feel like we're a commanding team that can take control? And if we get behind a little bit at some point, we're going to be okay because we've set the franchise record for comebacks. But just having that belief is going to go a long way.
Yeah, Steve, this is going to be fun. Again, we're going to do this on every off day of the first round of the playoffs. Remember, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, we know. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if necessary. We'll be here between each game. Steve will join me. Dave Maloney will join me as well. And we will both recap and preview what happened and what is to happen and what should be an intriguing and fascinating first round. Good to hear from you, Stevie. We'll see you on the air tomorrow night, 6:30.
Great to see you, buddy. Can't wait.